We now have got the U.S. government telling us why what the Chinese were utilizing specifically the balloon for. I want you to take a listen to Senator Marco Rubio, who's been a lead on this for years.
I thought the president should have gone before the country last week at some point and explained, look, here's what's coming our direction, here's what it is, and here's what I've decided to do about it and why. And I think people would have understood it. They didn't notify Congress until one of the news outlets was about to run with the story, and then they allowed it to basically cut a diagonal path right across the middle of the country and never explained to us it was coming or why. And I mean to us, the American public.
So it's interesting because now the Chinese government, Colonel Smith says, give us our balloon back.
The U.S. is trying to reassure the American people that as the balloon transversed the United States, they stopped sensitive communications at military bases, and they tried to basically protect themselves from the surveillance of this balloon. However, more than likely, this balloon was probably instantly transmitting what it was seeing and hearing back to China right then. Yeah. So taking it down later does not stop the fact that we don't know what kind of sensitive information that China got from the balloon. Plus, they violated sovereign U.S. airspace. They closed a civilian airport in the United States, and some sensitive activities that were going on at multiple military bases, they had to suspend them as the balloon passed over that area. This is insane.
Why would they use these balloons? We know they've got satellites up there. We've got satellites. The Russians have satellites.
Right.
The Chinese have satellites. Why are these balloons?
Most satellites, low Earth orbit is around 125 miles up. This balloon was, 60,000 feet up?
Sometimes in the 50s.
So they're able to collect a lot more information, and certainly the aerial photography is so much better.
They are valuable surveillance tools?
Yes, absolutely they are. And they've been operating, apparently they have a fleet of 40 of them, and they have been operating on just about every continent in the world.
And they can control those. It's not just going with the airstream.
Right. They are controlled by authorities, Chinese authorities somewhere. They can hover. They can change direction.
Yet at the same time, we utilize this technology, by the way. Oh, I should say we did utilize this technology on the southern border. But then we decided to stop utilizing it because it's expensive.
That's right. The Biden administration is removing most of our surveillance balloons at the southern border. They say due to cost. This is an administration that loves,
they love spending
trillions and trillions of dollars, and let's not raise the
Tell
debt.
You what,
raise the debt ceiling, but don't cut spending. Don't balance budgets.
Don't have 87,000 new IRS agents. Let's get a balloon flying over our border.
There's 12 of them, and they're called Eyes in the Sky. And this is really so Customs and Border Patrol can track those gotaways. It's how they get the gotaway numbers. If you don't have these balloons, the gotaway numbers will drop.
Right.
So the Biden administration will technically be able to say there's been a drop in illegal border crossing because they are taking away one of the best ways to monitor the people who we can't catch, but we can at least track.
You're right. So you got to ask yourself, Wes, why we're spending trillions of dollars, like Jordan said, 87,000 new IRS agents, billions of dollars a year to increase on the IRS, which is going to mean nothing. It's a drop in the bucket. But we can't fly a balloon over the southern border.
Yeah, these aerostats, as they're called, the eyes in the sky, have been used since 2013. They can go up to 3,000 feet. And Jordan's right. They're used to surveil the open parts of the border. We have miles and miles and miles where there are no ports of entry, there are no barriers. So they use these devices to patrol those areas to try and catch people who otherwise would be gotaways. They estimate that the 1.2 million are the gotaways they know got away. They observed them somehow. They estimate there's another 600,000 gotaways that just got in. They don't even know where they crossed or where they are. They have apprehended 137 people on the terror watch list. That's just with the people that they caught trying to cross the border. When you look at almost 2 million more gotaways, just think of the law of averages. We literally do not know in that almost 2 million number how many of them are connected to international terror.
Have relations now between the U.S. and China taken a big hit,
No.
frankly?
No.
How do you know?
I know. I talked to him.
You've talked to Xi
Talked to
Jinping
Xi Jinping before. And our team talks to their people.
during this and since?
After I haven't talked to him during this. The idea of shooting down a balloon that's gathering information over America, and that makes relations worse.
General Austin, our Secretary of Defense, called the Chinese counterpart, and the Chinese refused to take his call. We also know that Secretary of State Blinken called his counterpart, and they refused to take the call. When President Biden says we're talking to them,
Not true.
it's not true.
They're not worried. In fact, they're so bold as to say, give it back. And you know what? This administration, you have to actually question what might they give back at the end of the day.
I mean,
They also destroyed it in a way, it's like to keep it from the American people about exactly how sophisticated this was.